All right, if you're buying or selling a home right here in Gainesville, you know that feeling, right? The offer gets accepted, you're excited, and then boom, you hit this wall of waiting. And I'm talking about the home appraisal. It's this super critical, kind of mysterious step that honestly can feel like a total black box. Well, guess what? Today, we're going to pull back that curtain and decode the whole thing for you. So let's just dive right in. The offer's in, the financing is all chugging along, and then you just wait. It's the appraisal, and it feels like this void where time just disappears. So the big question is, what's the real timeline you should be expecting, especially here in Alito County? Okay, here it is, the number you've been waiting for. From the second the lender officially orders that appraisal to the moment you get the final report in your hands, you're looking at a window of about 6 to 20 days. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. That is a huge range, right? So let's break down exactly what is happening during all that time. And this is the part that really throws everybody for a loop. The only piece of this whole puzzle you actually see, the appraiser walking around your property, takes almost no time at all. We're talking maybe 30 minutes, up to 3 hours tops. So if the visit is that fast, where in the world do the other 5 to 19 days just vanish? Well, it's because the appraisal is so much more than just that quick walkthrough. The real heavy lifting, all the important work, it happens behind the scenes. So let's break it down into the 4 main phases that make up that big 6 to 20-day timeline. Okay, so first up is just the scheduling. And believe it or not, this alone can eat up 2 to 7 days, just all the back and forth to get it on the calendar. Then you've got that super fast inspection we talked about, but here's the real time sink, the report writing. This part can take up to 10 days. That's because the appraiser is now basically a detective, digging through property records, analyzing every recent sale, and building this whole data-backed legal case for your home's value. And finally, the lender review tacks on another 1 to 3 days for a final quality check. Now look, that 6 to 20-day window, it's not set in stone. Not at all. There are a few, let's call them X factors, that can totally stretch or shrink that timeline. And you might be surprised to hear that the biggest one has absolutely nothing to do with your house. It's all about the market. Yeah, just think of it like basic supply and demand. In a totally normal Gainesville market, a 1 to 2 week turnaround is pretty standard. But when the market gets hot, like a busy spring season, or when interest rates take a dip, appraisers just get buried in work. And all of a sudden, that 2-week wait can easily stretch to 3 weeks, maybe even more, simply because there's a longer line ahead of you. The type of appraisal you're getting also makes a huge difference. For most home purchases, you're going to get a full interior appraisal. It's the most common, the most thorough, and the most time-consuming. But for some refinances or other unique situations, a desktop appraisal might be on the table. With this one, there's no property visit at all. They use data and photos, and because of that, it's way faster. We're talking 3 to 7 days. And a few other things can add time too, for sure. If you have a really complex or unique property, maybe it has one-of-a-kind features or a huge lot, that just takes more research than a standard cookie-cutter house. Same goes for any significant damage. That all needs extra documentation. And the purpose matters. Appraisals for things like a divorce or an estate settlement can have totally different requirements that tack on extra time. Okay, so here's the good news. While a lot of this stuff is totally out of your control, you are not powerless in this situation. There are actually some simple, practical things you can do as a homeowner to help make sure the whole process is as smooth and as fast as it can possibly be. I want you to think of this as your pre-appraisal checklist. It's super simple. First, just make sure the appraiser can get everywhere, and I mean everywhere, easily. Unlock all the doors, clear a path to the attic and the crawl space. Second, just type up a quick list of any major upgrades you've done recently. A new roof, a new HVAC system, and if you can, include the dates and what they cost. And finally, have any relevant property documents like a survey ready to go. Every minute you save the appraiser from hunting down info is a minute saved on your timeline. Okay, let's bring this all back home and talk specifically about what this looks like right here in Gainesville. Because listen, every real estate market has its own little quirks, and Alachua County is definitely no different. So here's a really key local detail for you. Here in Gainesville, appraisers are hunting for comps. That's just shorthand for comparable home sales. And they're typically looking within a 1-mile radius for homes that sold in the last 3 to 6 months. Now, in a dense neighborhood, that's pretty straightforward. But if your place is out in a more rural part of the county, or if it's just really unique, finding those perfect comps can take a lot more digging, and that could potentially delay the report. So what's the big takeaway here? When you're getting ready for an appraisal in Gainesville, just plan on it taking somewhere between 6 and 20 days. And it's so important to understand that almost all of that time is spent on research and report writing behind a computer, not the quick walkthrough.
And remember, you can play a real part in this. By being prepared, you can help the whole thing go that much more smoothly.
So there you have it. The appraisal isn't some passive waiting game, it's an active, detailed research project. And while you can't really rush it, you can absolutely prepare for it. So, knowing what you know now about the timelines, the process, and the local market quirks, what's the one question you're going to ask your lender or your realtor today to make sure you stay ahead of the curve?